Hello, everyone. Trust we're doing well. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Can anyone hear me? Can we confirm if you can hear me? Can you just give me like a thumbs up? Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for joining. If you're joining us from the UK, Nigeria, good evening. And if you're joining from any other part of the world, that the time zone is different, maybe good morning, maybe good afternoon. We're so excited to have you. My name is Olorin Fair, and on behalf of Cloud Booster, I'd like to welcome you and say thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have you. We hope your Friday has been amazing so far. We hope your Friday has been amazing. We know some of us might still be at work at the moment, but we just wanted to say thank you for joining us this evening. We're so excited to have you on the call. Before we get started, would firstly just like you to introduce yourself to us. Would like to know where you're joining us from. I can see some of our names already, so you might not need to introduce yourself, your name, basically. But we'd just like you to tell us where you're joining from and your expectation. Just give us one expectation. I know you've been seeing our flyer online via email on our social media page. I know you've been saying a lot about this program. Thank you so much. Okay, I can see some people in the chat box. Okay, I'll be there soon. But very quickly, we'd just like you to introduce yourself to us. Just like you to introduce yourself to us. Tell us your location and your expectation for joining Cloud Career Roadmap 2024. Okay, beautiful. I can see quite a lot of comments in the chat box. Let me just go there. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Nii. Nii saying we can hear you. All right, Michael is joining from the UK. Collins from Liverpool, UK. Amazing. Clement from Nigeria. Good to have you, Clement. Can we have more people? Adiola from Nigeria. Awesome. James is joining from the UK as well. Interesting. Can we have more people? Okay, Ogene is joining from Lagos. Good to have you. Who else do we have here? Tosin from Birmingham. Awesome. Temi from Nigeria. Indamola from the UK. Dibal from UK. I hope I got that right. Michael from Nigeria. Okay, I can also see another Michael here. He's joining from Kigali, Rwanda. Awesome. Looking forward to you guys demystifying the roadmap to a successful cloud career. Amazing. I love that, Michael. I love that. Can we have more of our expectation? Can we just be like Michael this evening and tell us your expectation for today's webinar? You can just tell us one expectation, right, as to why you're joining us today. Abiola from Anambra. Awesome. Good to have you. Emmanuel from Lagos. AK from Okay. I just read that out. Good to have you. Awesome. Okay. Ogene is saying learn how to transition into the cloud space. Amazing. I love this already. And I would love to read more from us before we get started. I know we have that expectation. Ife from Russia. Yay. My namesake is joining from Russia. Thank you. Good to have you. Deborah is joining from Nigeria. Amazing. Good to have us on the call. So you can just let us know your expectation for today's webinar before we go ahead. It will be good to read from us. I know you've introduced yourself to us. You've made us know your location, but it will also be good to know what your expectations are basically, so we can know if at the end of the webinar we're able to meet your expectation or not. But I believe that we are going to be meeting and exceeding your expectation this evening, right? Because you're in for a good time, absolutely a good time. Okay, James is saying that understand the fundamentals of cloud computing and getting onto the cloud computing career path. Amazing. We can't wait to have you. And we can't wait to walk you through that journey as well. Good. Amazing. I love the comments so far. I love the beautiful comments I've been reading so far. It's amazing. Can we have more people? I know we're quite a lot. Oh, there's actually more here. Apologies. Getting through them now. Okay, Osamu Dieme is saying that know what cloud is all about and what the prospect of it being a lucrative skill and good source of income. Interesting, interesting. So you're going to be hearing more about that this evening. You're going to be hearing more about that this evening. Okay, Abiola is saying, what is the path for data science in cloud computing? All right, beautiful, beautiful. That's also a good one. That's also a good one. We're going to be looking at this cloud career roadmap from different angle, and that is why we have our guest on the call already, right? And in just about some minutes, we're going to be bringing them on board, right? But we'll still love to read your expectations, basically. I know we're quite a lot on the call, and we want to read from everybody. If that's going to be possible, would like to take more, would like to read more from us. Okay, Shukurat from UK, looking forward to gaining information and transitioning into cloud computing. Amazing, Shukurat. Good to have you as well. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Can we have more people introduce themselves to us? Can we have more people introduce themselves to us? We are going to be diving in soon, and we are at the onboarding stage. So we're going to be taking off soon. So please and please just introduce yourself to us. Would like to read from you. Would like to know where you're joining us from as well. I know some people have done that already, but I know that we still have some people who are yet to introduce themselves. So please, please, please go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. Would love to read from you. Would love to read from you. Still waiting. So, but while we are doing that, I know we still have some people who are yet to join the call. So please would like you to just help us share the link with your network. Kindly share the link with your network. Would have our admin drop the link to this call in the chat box. So please and please, if you have a friend, if you have a colleague who you feel like they should be on this call learning about cloud, just having the roadmap, whether they're ready to transition now or not, please just share with your network, share with your friends, share with your colleagues, share with your family. It will be good to have them on the call. The more we are, the better. So we are waiting for them. We are waiting to have more of them on the call. So please and please, the link is already in the chat box. Kindly reach out to your friends. Kindly let them know what's going on. Let them know that something is happening today, this evening, like right now. We are about to get started. So please and please reach out to them. Just copy the link in the chat box and put it on your status. You want to share with your contacts directly as well. So please do that. Please do that while we get to read more. I'll be in the chat box again, just basically still reading from us. Okay. Amazing. Oyindamola is joining from the UK. Looking forward to gaining information on how to implement cloud computing with my current career as healthcare scientist. Amazing. Wow. So that's really amazing. And that's because we have quite a number of people who have transitioned from this role into cloud and they are doing amazing. Don't worry, we're going to be addressing that today on the call as well. So I'm excited to read from you, Oyindamola. Okay, so what else do we have here? High-level summary of a day in the life of a cloud personnel. Good, good, good. Blessing, new to tech, and I want to gain the information about transitioning to tech and why cloud computing or DevOps. Interesting, 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 interesting. Wow, I can't even wait for us to bring our guest speaker on the call already. We have our host, we have our guest speaker on the call already. Imagine having just one guest speaker coming up, but I mean, we have three. That's going to be like a bomb. It's going to be a combustion tonight. So just wait for it. Just wait for it. Be ready as we bring them on board this evening. So we have the link. We have the link in the chat box. So please and please kindly still reach out to your network. Tell them to join the call. You don't want to hear this alone. This gist is not to be heard alone. Please just tell them, invite them, bring them on board. You don't know. You can never tell, right? So just share, copy the link and share with your network. It will be great to have us all. So right about now, we're about to take off. We're about to take off. And I have my host here on the call already, and she is going to be moderating the session this evening with our guest speakers being on the call. So right now, I'm just going to be handing over to our CEO, our founder, in person of Bemisola Ojo, to actually take over from here. I'm sure Bemi is on the call already. Good to have you, Bemi. It's amazing to see you.
Yeah, hi everyone. I hope we can hear me. Can we hear me? And can we see me?
Yes, we can. We can.
Amazing. I love the energy in the room already. It's so good to see every single one of us. Some faces are familiar, some are not too familiar, but in any case, we're excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Omolara. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Please, just like Ife has said, please put it on your WhatsApp status, put it on Instagram. Let people around you know that something is happening. A lot of people are still wondering what to do with the year 2024. See, cloud DevOps is a space that you need to hear about. And I know most of us don't know what cloud DevOps is all about. Today, we're going to demystify it, okay? So I'm just going to go straight into today's masterclass. I am really, really excited to be here, and every single one of us, from wherever you're joining us from, you are specially welcome. But make sure you put it on your WhatsApp status so somebody else around you can hear. So, Cloud DevOps Career Roadmap 2024. Most of you said that you want to have a roadmap for transitioning. Please, if at any point you can't hear me again, please just let me know in the chat box, okay? Now, what I'm going to be covering today is what is and why cloud computing. How do you transition from a specific career path? This is something I promised you guys, that if you're already in a field like UI, UX, data science, how can you move into cloud DevOps? We'll talk about it today. We'll also look at essential skills roadmap and then next steps into becoming a cloud DevOps pro, regardless of where you are today. So for people who don't know me, my name is Bimsola Ojo. I'm a cloud DevOps manager working in one of the big four consulting firms globally. Apart from that, I'm also the founder of Cloud Booster Academy. So I have the opportunity to combine my 9 to 5 with my another 9 to 5, basically, which is the business that I run, which is Cloud Booster and EdTech, where we empower people to become proficient in cloud computing. I'm also a certified AWS Cloud Solutions Architect. I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering from University of Ibadan. If you're from UI, let me see you in the chat box. I had a first class, and then I also have a master's in mechanical engineering from Loughborough University, where I had a distinction. I'm a tech professional, basically, with over half a decade's experience in technology. I'm also into ministry. I'm a wife, mentor, coach. I'm passionate about all things women, all things tech, all things kingdom, and I'm also a conference speaker. I'm primarily based in the UK. Sometimes I'm in other locations. So I just like to say that UK is my base. Now, just some housekeeping, right? I just need to give me your attention for the next 1 hour. I have something special at the end for you. So please, just find a quiet place. Ask all the questions that you have using the Slido link. So we're going to put a link in the chat box for you. Any questions that you have, just put it there. Don't put your questions directly on the chat box. It's very difficult to track that way. And then ensure that your mic is on mute to avoid distractions. And also listen to the end, please. Don't leave in the middle. Most importantly, please get comfortable. Okay? Now, if you're wondering, should you be here? Like, is this masterclass actually for me? These are your cues to finding out. So if you're someone that is curious about transitioning into tech and you don't have any tech background, then you should be here. If you're tired of continuing on a career path that you no longer find mentally stimulating and exciting, you should be here. If you feel your skills and area of expertise are fast becoming obsolete and you want to level up, you should be here. If you're tired of trying to get into tech and have not been successful, you should be here. If you want to increase your paycheck drastically in the spirit of no grief for anybody in 2024, you should be here. Now, if you are any of these other things that I'm about to say, then maybe you're not meant to be here. So the first one is, if you're not ready to put in the work, then this is not the path for you. If you're not looking for a long-term rewarding career in tech, but you want something that is just quick fix, this is not the place. If you have no interest in acquiring dynamic and relevant skills, this is not the place. If you have no interest in increasing your earning capacity, I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't want to increase their earning capacity. So that person should not be here. But of course, we've already heard your motivations. We know that you are the right person to be here at this time. So you are welcome. You are welcome. Now, of course, we're here to shed light on this cloud DevOps thing and then give you a roadmap that you can actually run with, right? And I'm sure these are some things that are on your mind. We're just bringing it to life. Some of you mentioned it already in the chat box. You know, if you're thinking that, does it sound like you? You're thinking that I'm not really sure I'll be able to learn everything I need to thrive in a cloud role. You know, everything just seems too technical. You know, some of you are thinking, you know, I'm scared. I'm scared of getting into the wrong tech job that will become irrelevant in the next few years. You know, some of you are just saying that, you know what, I'm ready to take the plunge. I just don't know where to start from. If any of this sounds like you, can you give me a 1 in the chat box, please? Just put 1 in the chat box. If any of these 3 things that I said sounds like you, just put a 1 in the chat box. Let me see if you guys are paying attention. Amazing. Clement, I can see Deborah. Who else? Is it just the 2 of them? Amazing. If it doesn't sound like you can put a 2 as well. Let's know. But this sounds like a lot of us. This sounds like a lot of us. Amazing. I can see Jackson. I can see Eniola. I can see Shukura. So many people. Don't worry. You're in the right place and we're here for you. Now, let's get more specific. I need you to tell me in the chat box which of these 4 things sound like you. And if multiple sounds like you, just put the numbers as well. If you're thinking that I've seen so many tech boot camps, I don't know which one is for me, then you give me a 1 in the chat box. If you think it will take me long before I can feel ready to apply for a tech job, then you can put a 2. I don't know what the roadmap looks like to landing a job in cloud DevOps. Please give me a 3 in the chat box. And then I am not sure what cloud DevOps is, but I'm very curious. Give me a 4 in the chat box. So if you have more than 1 number, just list everything. Okay, I can see people saying 1 and 3, 2 and 3. Somebody's saying 1. Okay, someone else is saying 4. Okay, so we can see all the numbers. So someone is 1, 2, and 4. Amazing. Someone is 1, 3, someone is 4, and so on. But regardless of where you are, guys, you are in the right place. And I just want you to pay attention, stay till the end. You will see that I have something special for you and hopefully get all your questions answered. Now, let me tell you about Bukola. Bukola is somebody who is just like you, you know, and this is her experience after she went on the journey into cloud computing. She actually was a dentist, and this is her own words. Cloud Booster was my first exposure to tech. I love the teaching style because there was a lot of emphasis on supporting me on my journey, from simple workbooks to interview preps to one-on-one guidance to CV building. I completed my training a couple of months ago. I have not even gotten my class certification yet, and I've already landed a job in a notable company. So if you're thinking that, oh, it's going to take me ages to get a job, I don't even know if I'm going to get a job after I get trained in cloud computing, this is a good example for you. Let's move on. Now, the things that I want to show you today and I want to tell you about today, some of you have joined other masterclasses that we've done before, but this one is very specific to these 3 major things. I want to tell you what cloud DevOps is all about. Most of you have that question. You've been hearing, okay, it's lucrative. But what exactly is cloud DevOps? We'll talk about it today. We'll also talk about how to build the technical competency that you need to get hired as a cloud DevOps professional. We're also going to tell you the advantages that you already have coming from different professions that can fast track your transition. So no matter what your profession is, trust me, you have something that is transferable into the world of cloud DevOps. So you're not actually starting from scratch. Now, 6 months from now, you want to be in a place where you'll have confidently passed at least 1 relevant certification in cloud, applied for the right tech job, significantly increased your earning capacity if you follow the things that I'm going to show you today. So just pay attention and stay with me. Now, cloud DevOps, what is it about and why is there so much of a buzz around it? Let's start with the concept of cloud. Some of you know, some of you may not know because I can see you guys are picking different numbers. But if you have not heard about cloud computing before, it is very simple. I'm going to read all of these words and then give you an example that you can relate with. Anytime you think of cloud computing, just think of something like your Google Drive, Spotify, Netflix, and I'll tell you why I'm telling you to think of those things. Cloud computing is a technology that lets you access and use computing resources like servers, storage, databases, and software applications over the internet, instead of having to manage these resources on your computer or in your data center. How many of you have used Google Drive before? Google Drive, Spotify, or Netflix? If you have used any of those before, please say yes or no in the chat box. I'm sure everybody here has used it before. Can you tell me yes or no? Google Drive, Spotify, Netflix. Anybody? Okay, yes, good, amazing. Now, what is common between all of them? When you're accessing any of these three things, right? Do you know that the data that you're accessing is actually not stored on your laptop? Do you agree? Google Drive, for example, you can have a picture saved on your laptop. Once you upload that picture to Google Drive, the picture is stored somewhere that you don't know. That is the cloud. It's stored on somebody else's computer. It's stored in a big server somewhere that you're not available, that you don't know about. But the thing is, anytime you need that picture, all you need is your login details into Google, and you can access it. Spotify, you're accessing music files. They are not stored on your laptop. They are stored somewhere. But the thing is, as long as you have your Spotify login details, anytime you need Spotify, you can access the music. Anytime you want to access your music, you can go into Spotify. The same thing with Netflix. I mean, there were days that we had to, manually move movies from one laptop to another using, all sorts of external hard drive, right? I remember one time I got a 1 terabyte hard drive. I was so excited because I felt like I put a lot of movies, but it's still not unlimited. But when we're talking about Netflix, imagine the volume of movies you have on Netflix. You don't have to have those movies saved on your laptop. All you need is to subscribe to Netflix and you have instant access to unlimited movies. So you're not managing the storage yourself. You're not managing the backend yourself. All you're doing is accessing all these resources over the internet. So let me read it again. Cloud computing is a technology that lets you access and use computing resources like servers, storage, databases, and software applications over the internet instead of managing these resources on your own computer. Do we see? So if you look at this image now, it has all kinds of information. This is a shopping basket, for example. This is an image download. This is message. You can see music file. You can see pictures. You can see game. You can see all sorts. With cloud computing, you can manage all kinds of data. You can manage all kinds of files, music files, movie files, whatever. So you don't have to store it on your computer. All you need to do is to be able to access it over the internet, right? That is what cloud computing is in simple terms. Do we understand what cloud computing is? Give me a 1 in the chat box if you do. It's a masterclass. It has to be engaging. Is it clear? Amazing. If it's not clear, you can give me a 2 as well. So that is cloud computing. Now let's move on to DevOps. Again, let's use an analogy that you can relate with. This is just an analogy to give you an just give you an insight into what DevOps is. Now, DevOps actually is a combination of the two words, development and operations, right? So think about this analogy. Like imagine you're baking a cake with a team. The developers are like the bakers. They are the ones that create the cake batter. Cake batter is, butter, sugar, eggs, flour, and all of that, right? And then the operations teams are like the ones that bake the cake, decorate the cake, and ensure that, people that are eating the cake, they're having a good time, enjoying the cake, right? So DevOps is like having everyone working together in the kitchen, sharing their expertise and coordinating the entire baking process from start to finish. So instead of the baker saying that, we are going to work separately, and our operations team are saying that, the people decorating and making sure that the customers are satisfied, saying that we're going to work separately. Instead of working in silos, the concept of DevOps is that the two teams work together. The developers, the people that write the code, right, and the operations team, people that ensure that the application is working well, it's properly deployed into production. These two teams work together from start to finish. They work together through the software development lifecycle. That's what we call, every time you want to develop a software, for example, an Instagram, a Facebook, a WhatsApp app, or a simple app that your friend developed, it always goes through a process, what we call the software development lifecycle. So instead of the development team who are the people that write the code, and the operations team working in silos. They work together throughout the process. And DevOps is an enabler of that. DevOps ensures that this happens. So in the software world, DevOps brings development and operations teams together to create and deliver software more efficiently and with better results, ensuring no teams work in silos. So there are now so many tools that make this happen. So many tools. I don't want to go into the complexity of it, but let me just introduce you into DevOps. Do we get the gist? Do we get the gist of DevOps? Please give me a 1 if you get the gist of DevOps. This is not everything. This is introducing you so that you can have a taste of what we're talking about when we're talking about cloud DevOps, okay? Thank you for your responses. Now, why? We've done the words of cloud DevOps. Why cloud DevOps? Why is there so much noise? Why is Baby always sending emails to everybody every week? Or multiple times in a week, telling you that come and learn cloud computing. These are the reasons, and it's very valid, guys. You want to be in a career where, the trajectory is upwards. The opportunities are unlimited. You don't want to be stuck in a job that you don't want. Now, just 4 major things. The first one is future-proof your career. Cloud DevOps actually requires skills that are difficult to automate. It requires skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity. So it makes it less likely to be replaced by automation or artificial intelligence in the future. Guys, whether we like it or not, a lot of jobs are going to be replaced by machines in the future. Now, instead of you saying that, oh, it's conspiracy theory, oh, it's not true, blah, blah, blah. The best thing that you can do is to future-proof your career. Make sure that you are in a career that will not get replaced by machines, and you can easily predict it. Any job that is very easy to do, that doesn't require a lot of thinking, will be replaced without a doubt by many machines, Alexa and so on. So, just get ready and make sure that you future-proof your career. Another reason why we're saying that get into the world of cloud DevOps is because there is a lot of rapid growth and there's high demand. Can you believe that the public cloud services market went from $257, billion markets in 2020 to 500 billion markets in 2024. And the estimation is that it's going to be a $1 trillion market in 2028 and onwards. So you can imagine that there's been a 52% increase in the demand for cloud engineers. And we see it. Ask anybody that is in the cloud field. See, this thing is not a facade. Ask anybody that is actively pursuing a career in cloud computing and ask them that, are there recruiters that reach out to you to ask if you want to do a job? Ask them, what kind of opportunities are available for them. These things are real and you can verify it. There is a skills gap. In 2023 alone, there was an estimated 500,000 cloud-related jobs openings in the United States alone, and only 21% of those were filled. We're just talking about the US, right? And it reflects what is happening across different nations. There is a demand for cloud engineers in Nigeria, in UK, in Canada, in US, everywhere, because of the benefits of the cloud, which, don't worry, I'll tell you at the end how you can find out more, because I'm just introducing all this concept. There's still a lot more to all these things, but we'll talk about it at the end, And then the final one is that the salary is high. Honestly, who doesn't want to make more money? If you can use the same brain that you're using to make a particular amount, why can't you use that same brain to make a lot more money? So there's a high salary in cloud, and the average salary of a cloud engineer is about £60,000 per year in the UK. So if that's the average, think about it. So 2 years down the line, how much would you be earning? 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, 5 years, 6 years down the line. Some people tell me that, okay, but what if the starting salary of this cloud job and another job is exactly the same? Why should I go into cloud? I tell them, what would happen in that your job that you're talking about 2 years down the line? Could you double your salary? That happens a lot in the world of cloud. You will have recruiters reaching out to you, 50% increase, 100% increase in your salary within 3 years, within 4 years, 5 years, especially when you're gaining so much experience. These things only happen in the world of cloud computing, okay? So you have to make sure that you are in a field that, would give you all of these advantages, okay? So now, another reason why, we're still on the why cloud DevOps. There are more jobs than the human resources to fill them. These are, job requests that come in every now and then. you know, these are job requests that come in every now and then. Like sometimes I show people screenshots of my LinkedIn. Personally, I tell recruiters that, you know what, I'm not interested. I already have a job and I like the job, which is the reason why I love empowering people. Because what's the benefit in all of these job requests coming to just one or two people when you that are listening to me can learn the cloud DevOps skills, you can become proficient, and recruiters can start looking for you. But this is what happens, when you have the right skills. There was time in the UK, I was looking for jobs. I always say it, with all that credibility, first class, mechanical engineering, distinction mechanical engineering, I was applying for jobs in this UK. Nobody was hiring me. But when I knew cloud computing and DevOps, I'll tell you, this is my story. That's when recruiters, I thought it was because I'm Black, I'm a woman, they can't pronounce my name and all of that. When I learned a skill that was rare and difficult, I went on that transition journey, my story changed. And your story can change as well. I don't care where you are on this journey. You can learn cloud computing and you can become a hotcake in the market. Okay, so let's continue. Now, let's get some misconceptions out of the way. And I'm going to ask you questions now. So what are the assumptions you have made about transitioning into cloud? It may never be an assumption. What do you think about transitioning into cloud? I want you to tell me in the chat box. What are your thoughts? Honestly, this part, I really want to hear from you. When you think about, transitioning into cloud computing, what do you think? What do you think? Tell me in the chat box. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts when someone is asking how many hours? It's just a 1 hour class, don't worry, and you have the recording. So tell me in the chat box, guys. I mean, we have over 80 people on this call. Thank you. Olabisi is saying lack of technical skills. So you're probably thinking that if you need to transition, you don't have technical skills. So how will you do it? I like that. Give me another thing in chat. What comes to your mind every time you think about transitioning into cloud? What assumptions have you made? Tell me. Oh, someone is saying good. Someone is saying too much code writing. That's what somebody thinks. Somebody else is saying there's no tech background. Okay. Can you give me something else? Can you give me something else? It's hard to get a first job. I see. Good. These are really assumptions, to be honest. These are really assumptions. Somebody else is saying learning and not finding a job in good time. That's I mean, I understand that really. That's a good point. Someone is saying learning challenging languages, okay? Someone is saying the background information needed for success. Someone is saying lots of certifications. Someone is saying it's hard to get the first job. Someone is saying, no, I'm thinking I don't have experience. I see, this is good. And I like the fact that you're voicing this out. That's why you're here today. And that's why we have a panel discussion after, because you will hear people's stories. Actually, you will hear them. How did they go on that journey? And how can you also demystify these things? So someone is saying no financials to go forward. I understand that. Someone is saying no experience. Someone is saying lots of certifications that cost premium dollars. Could that actually be true? We'll talk about it. Someone is saying that they don't know exactly what they're supposed to do, what it entails. We'll talk about it, okay? So these are really, really good assumptions, okay? Now, this is one myth that is captured in what some of you said, that, I don't have enough experience. A myth is, you're thinking cloud DevOps is only for professional, experienced IT professionals. It's too late for me to switch careers. Look at Daniel Amai, for example, who went from sound to cloud. Let me just give you, let me just read his story. It's like, as a sound engineer, in just a few months, I went from knowing nothing about cloud and DevOps to gaining certifications, 3 other batches, and completing over 30 cloud projects, thanks to Cloud Booster and their supportive faculty. So for those of you that think that I don't have professional experience, this is someone who did not have a professional experience. He just went through a solid boot camp and he was able to get, an opportunity that I wanted. Let's listen to Omalara's story.
And I'm a platform engineer in the UK. I mean, I have an undergraduate degree in English language. It's really refreshing to introduce myself as a platform engineer. And that's all thanks to Cloud Booster, thanks to the training, thanks to the community, and thanks to the June job. On my second week at work, my manager actually gave it a shout out on the company page, and it meant a lot to me. My manager gave me a task just to test me, and he came back to me and said, I am so pleased that we're able to deliver this. And that's because Cloud Booster has taught me to be that person that is always wanting to learn, always wanting to get better. I work with, a company that does AWS and Azure. And at the moment, I'm even looking up to become Azure to show them that, yes, cloud research taught me to understand that even though I was trained in AWS, I can always pick up another cloud provider since most companies are adopting multi-cloud systems right now. I mean, I've become someone that even on LinkedIn, when we have that, I'm like, sorry, I don't have time for this. I do not really have time for that because I'm busy right now. And, I have a job that makes me feel really wanted. Thank you so much, Dr. Busta, and I'm happy to be a product of your mentorship. Thank you.
Amazing. Oh, well, Lara is actually here. She's in the chat box if you guys want to connect with her. But honestly, like, that is an example of somebody who actually, who actually was able to transition from English language into cloud computing. Now, some of you are thinking, somebody said it, too many resources on the internet, upskilling into cloud DevOps, will be faster if I do it on my own. Some of you say this as a misconception as well. Still on this second meet, I want us to listen to
we finally turned non-tech background guys to competent cloud guys now. When I started cloud with Cloud Booster, the first 2 classes were like, okay, it sounded like, okay, I'm another word entirely, but literally, I was able to catch up eventually, and here we are today. I want to say a big thank you to everybody, especially our facilitators, our teachers. I want to say thank you so much. So having some technical background, I was not completely sure what to expect in terms of how deeply technical we are going to get at, but I knew it was a tech career path, and it's going to take us somewhere. Having this knowledge and understanding from Cloud Booster has given me personally, level of confidence. And at least when I see most job posts and they mention all their requirements, from everything I've learned from Cloud Booster, so why should I be scared of anything? Choosing Cloud Booster was never a mistake. I think I made the right decisions, one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. Shout out to my, my group members, Rainbow Finger, you both up, and I studied harder. And thank you. And today I'm AWS satisfied, giving ourselves that community. Yeah, and we are still there today. We still talk, and it's really been helpful.
Honestly, that's another success story of somebody who actually was able to follow a structured program and get into cloud DevOps. You can check Olumide online as well, Olumide Ajewale. He is now a cloud DevOps engineer. He's working in a very good company in the UK. Thanks to Cloud Booster, you guys have heard from his mouth already. Another person is thinking that it will take me at least 3 years after, the training to land a job. You're probably thinking, I may not get a job, immediately. In all honesty, getting a job immediately depends on every individual. It depends on how serious you take your training. Some people get a job immediately, and Tosin is an example. She did her bootcamp in November, got her certification in March, 4 months after. In April, she completed her bootcamp, and by May, she already got a job. Her own transition journey was 6 months, so this was someone that was hungry and ready to go all in. Some people's transition journey will be up to 8 months, some, 10 months. But we want you to know that it is possible. It is possible to get it done in 6 months if you so desire. It doesn't take too long, because some of you mentioned it in the chat box, So we have Adiola as well, who is now a cloud DevOps professional again in the UK. She had many worries, thinking, how do I get back into career? How do I land my job? She also got her tech job after completing her training with us at Cloud Booster. So the reason for telling you all of this, and let me look at the other myths that you've put as well. I think I've covered most of it already. Some of you are saying that, financials. Let me quickly talk to that. There are different ways you can do it, right? Sometimes you think that I always tell you to look at finances in form of the fact that it is an investment, so whatever you call expensive is, you have to look at it relative to the value that you're getting. You can go on the internet, expose yourself to a lot of information, come back confused because there's no roadmap, there's no pathway into how to transition, right? And you spend so much time going on that journey. Meanwhile, if you invest in the right bootcamp, they take all that stress away from you. you put your investment into the right place and you get returns on investment, going on that journey in a structured manner, and then you get value for your money, you land your job, and you're able to make your money back in multiple folds, so that's how it works. So I think I've covered most of these challenges that we face. And if you're thinking that, too much technical skills, too much code writing, just wait with me and let me show you the other sides of cloud DevOps, and then we'll get into the technical competency, okay? I'll cover everything. Now, this is the other side I'm talking about. You're currently on a career path right now, and you're thinking that, you want to go into cloud. I want you to know that not every single thing is new. Now, let me highlight some things for you. For example, you're in a non-technical field. Maybe you're in operations, you're in medicine, you're in art, you're in business, and you want to go into cloud computing. There are 4 things that are transferable. One of it is documentation. In any of these fields, there is always a lot of documentation, particularly in the medical line, for example. You will definitely document things. This is something that you do in cloud computing. Project management is a skill that you use in other fields that you can transfer into cloud computing. Collaboration is another major one. Even sometimes when you do your interview, they will ask you questions. How have you worked in a team before? How have you been able to collaborate? How are you able to air your views in a multicultural environment? Collaboration is very important. Attention to detail. Any field that you're in where you have to pay attention to detail, you can transfer that skill and use it for cloud computing as well. So it's not as if you're starting from scratch. You have existing skills that can be used in the world of cloud computing. Now, if you're in data analysis, for example, you want to transfer into cloud computing, think about the fact that you have an understanding of data storage already. You know how to build data pipelines and workflows. You probably have, proficiency in an SQL language, or a data language, for example. You have experience in data governance and compliance. You see, all of these 4 things I spoke about, I'm not going to go into details because not everyone is in data analysis. But if you're in this field, you understand what these things mean. I assure you that all of these skills are going to be used in the world of cloud computing because we deal with data. When it comes to cloud, the cloud side of things is just the infrastructure, the servers that you're building on that is not yours, but data flows through those servers. So your understanding of data analysis comes in handy in the world of cloud computing. Now, let's look at somebody who is also in the field of products, for example, product design, product marketing, product management. There are things that you can transfer. One of it is product lifecycle management. I was talking about it earlier. Managing a product from beginning till the end. I did a bit of product after my work in as a mechanical engineer. After my master's degree, I went into product design. I worked as a research and development engineer with Procter & Gamble UK. We're designing razors, and the product development lifecycle. The fact that you go from conceiving an idea, develop a prototype, test it to be sure it's working. I mean, we used to do a lot of testing back then. Bring men, tell them to shave, look at how how they are shaving, and see how the product is behaving. What are their feedback? We incorporate it back into the product, and we ensure that we deliver a working razor for them. Same thing with software. Exactly that same way you manage a product, whether it's a physical product or a software product, you can apply it in the world of cloud computing because you have to do with continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines in DevOps. Another skill that you will use as a product manager looking to transition into cloud DevOps is market and customer feedback analysis. A lot of analysis of customer feedback, customer survey. All of these things are very important, especially when it comes to the DevOps aspect of things, And of course, don't worry, I'll tell you how you can get to know more about these things at the end. Just stay with me till the end. Cross-functional team management, similar to what I said before, collaboration, proficiency in project management tools. All of these things can be used. As a DevOps engineer, you will most likely be managing your projects on a project management tool. Even as a DevOps engineer, when I was working in a financial services company, we used to use Jira. It was so compulsory, so important to log your work on Jira, to have everything on Jira, to integrate Jira into Slack, integrate Jira into Git. Even though I'm a DevOps engineer, I'm having to use a project management tool. So if you already have that knowledge, it comes in handy in your transition journey, okay? Front-end development, you're a front-end developer, you want to move into cloud DevOps. Your understanding of front-end testing frameworks, your understanding of third-party APIs, your understanding of security best practices, your understanding of debugging and troubleshooting. This one is very important. See, if you're in any tech field and you have to do a lot of debugging and troubleshooting, even if it's not from a tech field, if you just have to do it in the work that you do, it comes in very handy in the world of cloud computing, right? So even if you haven't done anything cloud related before, the fact that you have come across a problem before, you have solved it, you have cracked your head, you've stayed on the problem, you didn't give up, you kept on going, all of those things come in handy in the world of cloud computing. And our students on the call can testify. And most importantly, the one that really applies to most of us is this one about moving from a non-tech into cloud DevOps. These are just a few things. Your communication is very important as a cloud DevOps engineer. There are times that we'll develop something and then we'll go ahead and present it. If you've developed something good and you don't know how to present it, somebody else can carry your work and go and present it. We have people who have graduated from Cloud Booster, and I have to use Omolara as an example again. She was showing me some days back a presentation that she did at work, and I was like, this is so beautiful. She had done the work, but she had to go ahead and present it in front of major stakeholders. That was what brought out the beauty of the work. So your communication, your presentation skills, your drive, your passion, your tenacity, all of those soft skills come in handy on your transition journey. So don't see it as I'm starting from scratch. It's just that knowledge, what you're trying to get. Because at the end of the day, see, most of us are not going to use the degrees that we studied at university anyway. So how many of us are using the degrees we studied? But the fact that you went to university, the fact that you did a project, you interacted with people, you worked together on a project, that is what the real life needs. So you can layer that on any field, including cloud computing. So you're not starting from scratch and all your experience and knowledge is relevant, okay? So I hope that helps and the testimonials that you've heard. Now, the second to the last aspect of my masterclass, I will begin to bring it to an end. I'm going to also remind you that if you have questions, please put it on Slido. I'm going to take them and we're going to ask our panelists as well. Now, your cloud DevOps roadmap, what is the technical competency that you need? This is very important, and I want you to pay attention. See, this roadmap is so important. Like, this could even help you with the confusion of information overload on the internet. See, today, if you Google how to become a cloud DevOps engineer online or a cloud engineer, you will see 1 million things. And then it becomes counterproductive because like, which one is correct? But we have a tried and tested method. We've been on this journey for a number of years, helping people. So we know the things that are important. So on your cloud journey, these are the key things that you should pay attention to. Even if you take this and go ahead and develop yourself on this without signing up for a bootcamp, trust me, you can get somewhere, but we'll still encourage you that you actually sign up for a program that can take you on that journey. Doing it by yourself can become, a lot of people don't end up being successful at it. That's just the truth, So, your cloud roadmap, usually your journey into cloud, we'll say typically takes about a month, about 4 weeks, because these are the things you need to understand. You need to understand the basics of cloud computing. You need to understand storage services. You need to understand networking foundations, networking fundamentals. When we talk about internet protocol, how something speaks to another on the internet, all of these things are very important. You need to understand internet-based computing. How does computing happen online? This is very vital on your cloud journey. You need to understand databases, how data is stored, where they are stored. You need to understand reliable systems. How do we make sure that your system is always on? You can design a powerful system and something goes wrong on that system and it's destroyed. How many of you have been on a website before? The website is beautiful to behold, it's powerful, but guess what? Too many people are accessing the website at the same time. The website has shut down. So how do you build highly available systems that never go down? Because you will have thought about everything in the architecture. That's what we mean by reliable system. How about security best practices? So important. How do you secure your cloud environments? You can build a beautiful cloud environment. If you give the wrong person access to your cloud environment, the environment is gone and they delete the system. The environment is gone. How do you make sure that doesn't happen? How do you secure? How do you do two-factor authentication? Most of you are familiar with it. So these are the things that you need to know on your journey into cloud computing. This is the foundation that you build on. This is your roadmap. So all of these things, one after the other, you can now begin to expand it. So if you sign up for a bootcamp like Cloud Booster, for example, this is how we take you on that journey. In the first month, you learn the basics, you learn storage services, and then you move on into networking, you move on into internet computing, you move on to database, reliable systems, security best practices. So your first 4 weeks in a bootcamp like what Cloud Booster offers, you get to go through this roadmap. And like I said, feel free to use this roadmap. Take a screenshot of it. This will guide you when you see information online. So the second roadmap that I want to show you is the DevOps roadmap. So because DevOps has a lot more to it, it's more complex. There are a lot more things into it. It takes longer to understand. It takes longer to learn, to interact with the knowledge and begin to use it, right? So, but on your DevOps journey, these are the key DevOps concepts, that you can always know, and always, if you can master all of these things, you are in a good place on your DevOps journey. Scripting, so important. How do you script in Python, in Bash, and in Linux? We also have version control, Git and GitHub. We have infrastructure as code. An example is Terraform. We have containerization, so powerful, such a beautiful technology. I love containerization, and then you learn that using Docker. We also have container orchestration using Kubernetes. We have continuous integration and continuous deployment using Jenkins. We have configuration management using Ansible. We also have, monitoring and logging using tools like Grafana, ELK. So what we're trying to show you now is that if you're to go on a DevOps journey, these are the key things that you need to learn. And we've put tools that are so important for you to learn underneath it. Now, when I was asking about me, some of you said, oh, it's too complex, it's too technical. See, let me tell you, every single thing can be understood. You need to have that mindset. And that's the mindset that we work with in Cloud Booster. Whatever concept that I just called out to you, you don't need to have known it before. We teach you from scratch. So you can say that coding is complicated and all of that because that's the concept, that's the mindset that everyone around has it. But trust me, if they tell you that if you learn this thing, you're going to make so much money from it, then rethink that mindset because you can actually learn it. I always say this, that it's not about the subject. It's about who is teaching it. How many of you thought that a subject in school was difficult? It was because of the teacher. Imagine if you actually had the opportunity to change that teacher. So to somebody that could explain it to you and break it down to you properly. I'm sure your mindset about it change. See, I've seen this. I used to be a teacher and I used to be a student as well. There's some subjects that I thought it was the subject. No, it was the person teaching it. It was the school. It was about how it was being taught, basically. By the time all those conditions changed, the same subject that I thought was difficult, it became interesting. I've been a math teacher before. People that run away from maths, you can ask I have students on the internet, when I used to teach back then, I used to teach JSS2 maths. People fell in love with maths so much and they started saying, people that would say maths is my worst subject. By the time I was teaching it in my own way, and I'm sure you have experience of various teachers as well, they understood it and people fell in love with that subject. So my point is that, yes, there's a bit of coding needed in Cloud DevOps, but you can learn it, you can understand it because we teach you as though you don't have any background whatsoever, and then you can use it and then make sense of the knowledge, and then, of course, increase your earning capacity as a result of that. Remember, there's a reason why you want to learn. A final part of my masterclass, and we go into your questions and give you the answers. What are the next steps on your journey to becoming a Cloud DevOps professional? Let's go over it. 5 major things. How do you go from learning to your first job? See, I always say this. There's no value there's no point in having knowledge that you're unable to really, let me just say, make money from it, honestly. Let me just go straight to the point. Many of us learn so many things. I'm there telling you, I studied mechanical engineering, bachelor's, master's. I have not made money as a mechanical engineer, even with all the first class distinction, whatever. So what's the point of learning all these things and not being able to make money from it? So you want to go from learning to actually being able to get a job, being able to make money out of the knowledge. Really, that's the point. If you have other goals, then you can use that money to do that. You want to invest, but at least you need a job to get some money so that you can do all those other things anyway. So 5 major things you need to do. Number 1 is to find a boot camp. I always recommend boot camp. You can learn online, but the question is, how long will it take? Of course, it can be free of charge because you are using just internet and all of that. But will you get your desired goal? These are the questions you ask yourself. So when someone tells you that sign up for this boot camp and they tell you this is the amount, think about the value that you will get back in return. That should be your focus. When a bootcamp is there to offer you, hands-on learning, facilitator learn, they teach you practical. A bootcamp is industry driven. They teach you the latest trends. They take away confusion. You have a community. You have a structure for learning. You're not left by yourself. Every single week at Cloud Booster, we have our check-in calls on Wednesday with our students. Any problem that you have encountered, bring it. We'll help you. You have your accountability partner. You do group work. You're not just learning cloud from day one in Cloud Booster. You're going to build something on the cloud. That's how we work, so that you can become a cloud engineer and you can get that job. That's the point. So find a bootcamp that can help you. Things that you need to look out for, I've spoken about it already. Industry-led, facilitator-led. A bootcamp that when you're stuck, you're not by yourself. You're not just doing things on your own. You can reach out to people. That's kind of bootcamp that you want. Second one, build your technical competency. Don't forget to say, don't forget that a mindset of failing. Don't forget to have a mindset of failing forward while you're at it. So you will make mistakes, but you fail forward. You fail forward. As you're making mistakes, you forget about it, you move forward. See, on this kind of journey, I've cried on many days. I was focused on the fact that I need to make the money off this career. I need to make the money. So I make mistakes, I cry, move on, and go forward. That's the whole idea. The third thing, you need to leverage community. Get encouragement from your friends and mentors. Ask them questions. You need to also learn the soft skills to land the job. We spoke about it already. You boost your CV, update your LinkedIn profile, prepare, for interviews. Those are the things that you need to do. And then the fifth thing that you need to do is to land your first job. So your dream job is just a few steps away. And these are the things you need to do. So once you get a bootcamp, you build a technical competency, you leverage the community, you learn the soft skills, you know how to package all what you have learned. That's the pathway. Again, this is something that you can use. Even if this is the only thing you get out of Cloud Booster, out of this webinar, that's why it's a masterclass. Take it and use it. Take the roadmap and use it. How to learn cloud. Take the cloud DevOps, cloud roadmap, DevOps roadmap. This is the pathway as well. Take it and use it and get your job. Now, finally, this is the peg that I have for you at the end, and this is the end of my presentation. If you want us to help you, if you want us at Cloud Booster to be the ones to help you on this journey, everybody has a different pathway, but if you want Cloud Booster to help you, we are introducing the very first Cloud DevOps Bootcamp. Now, because some of you still have questions, you're wondering that, you know what? Is this really for me? I just want to, when you just want to taste something. Some of you have got to buy ice cream before. They'll put like 10 flavors in front of you. They'll have you one tiny spoon that, you don't know which one you want. It's okay, taste it. They'll give you caramel ice cream. So yeah, taste, they'll give you Oreos base. So yeah, taste it. Taste it. That's what this one-day Cloud DevOps Bootcamp is. We want to give you a taste of what Cloud DevOps is about. So if you're still thinking, I don't know if it's for me, come and taste it. Come and have a feel of what it's about. So on this bootcamp, what are we going to do? We're going to teach you the basics of cloud computing. You launch your first cloud project in a day, even as a beginner. You get a detailed roadmap of your cloud journey. You hear transition stories of successful cloud DevOps professionals. And then we also have a Q&A session, cloud games, prizes, and so much more. It's happening on 15th of June, 2024. So if you're sure that you want to take our training, we have a 24 weeks training, an 18 weeks training rather, 4.5 months. You're ready, you've heard about us, you're ready to go all in. A new course is starting in July. Sign up for it. The link is going to be in the chat box. Please, let's put the link on how to be a part of our training. If you're ready, that that's what you want to do, please go ahead and sign up. However, if you're still in the phase where I still want to understand, I still want to get a better feel, this is just a 1 hour masterclass. There's a lot more to it. I just gave you the, what you need to at least hold on to, right? There's so much more. You actually want to go into the cloud, build something, interact with it, know if it is for you, then this is the bootcamp this is the one-day bootcamp that you should sign up for, okay? And it's a one-time offer. It's going to close tonight. Instead of you to pay $99.99 for this particular one-day bootcamp, we are just offering it for £9. See, this is literally just commitment fee, basically, so that you can know if it is for you, really. I can assure you the value you get is much more than the £9. This is registration fee. basically, because we want to be able to sieve out people that are ready to go on this journey, people that are serious about this journey. So you have 1 day of intense training, you build on the cloud, you build your technical skills, you have access to labs, you have access to our fully guided labs, you learn about cloud computing, you have engaging class lectures, you also interact with industry leaders. I mean, there's quite a lot, and it's just, so 1 day, just spend 1 day with us at Cloud Booster. Virtually, is not in any physical program, so anybody can do it, any location you are. Join us, 1 day boot camp. Come and taste cloud computing and see if it is for you, okay? And then, of course, you can pay, bank transfer. You can do a bank transfer tonight. Just let us know. Use this QR code basically to register. This offer expires tonight, basically. So if you want to pay with Stripe, you can go ahead, do a bank transfer to our Barclays account or a GTB. We have Nigeria account, we have dollar account, and you send your proof of payments via email to support@cloudbooster.co.uk, and we would help you. But basically, sign up for our 1 day boot camp. Come and see if it's for you. But if you're ready, cloud computing, you really want to go on our boot camp. I mean, today is not to talk extensively about the 18 weeks boot camp, but we have that available. And, of course, you can sign up for that as well. So reach out to us, get in touch with us. All the details will be in the chat box, okay? And then let's go into your questions. That is all from me today. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for listening. Now let's go into your questions. But before your questions, let's have our amazing panelists. Let's have our amazing panelists. Our panelists are super, super amazing. They're all alumni from Cloud Booster. So I can see Okpeyemi Okunuga. Welcome. Good to see you. I can see Kenny Akiemi.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. All of them are here. They're going to be answering your questions. And while we pull out the questions, we have Sandra Okafor as well. While we pulling out the questions, please, I'll just give them 1 minute each to introduce themselves. So can we start with you, Kenny? And then we have Okpe, and then we have Sandra. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening. I am Kenny, and I am based in the US here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm currently working as a tech consultant for a software company in the US. So that's pretty much it about me for now.
Amazing. Thank you. Okpe, can we have you, please?
Hi, my name is Okpeyemi Okunuga. I am a healthcare tech professional. I started my career in healthcare physiotherapy. I saw a gap in the healthcare sector that I wanted to fill, and I decided to get some education about that. That was how I got into Cloud Booster, got cloud certified, and today I am getting into the nitty-gritty of what I really want to do. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. I love that introduction. Thank you, Okpe. Can we have you, Sandra? Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Sandra, and I'm an associate solutions architect in a distribution company here in the UK.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. So we're just going to go straight into the questions, right? We have some questions here, and I've seen the questions that you guys have. Now, one thing that is common to everyone that you're looking at, even though they are in different fields, Okpe is a healthcare professional. He's done the Cloud Booster Bootcamp, is AWS certified, and his reason for coming into cloud was that he wanted to solve a problem in the health sector, but he's gone from the mindset of being a health professional and then interacting with cloud computing. The same thing, we have Kenny as well, who is AWS certified. We have Sandra, who has transitioned from business into cloud computing. So they are a range of people from different backgrounds, basically, but they have interacted with cloud computing and they'll be able to answer your question, right? So now, I just want you to talk about your biggest challenges during your learning journey. And of course, anyone can go in terms of who wants to answer the question, but what was your biggest challenge when you were learning cloud computing? I mean, given, your unique backgrounds, what was your biggest challenge? Who would like to take that?
I mean, I can get started. For me, my biggest challenge was really learning and familiarizing myself with just the different tools in DevOps and cloud computing. At least I was in the tech field for a while, but coming and learning about Kubernetes and Ansible. I'm like, what is all this new stuff? But it was definitely interesting. So that's been part of my challenges really. And another one was studying for my AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam. Remy can testify to that. I was like, Remy, I mean, I don't know. I took the first test, just test exam, and I failed woefully. I was like, are you sure this is for me? But again, the Cloud Booster community was very helpful. Them was very helpful, and just also speaking with some of my colleagues who are in Cloud Booster, and that really helped out. So that's it for me in a nutshell.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kenny. There are so many questions, so it's going to go around everyone. So we may just have one person per question. Now, who wants to answer the question of how does one combine learning, job, family, and other responsibilities to be able to achieve your goal? Can I nominate Sandra for that, if you don't mind? Because I feel like, how do you combine, your learning, you have your family, you have other things going on in your life, and you still want to be able to achieve your cloud DevOps goal?
I would definitely say time management, because if you value something, you actually create time for it. That's what I believe. And that is like the mindset I had when I was trying to transition. I was juggling, being the wife and my full-time job and all of that. So time management, because I valued, my career in cloud and I wanted that. So I had to prioritize, and time management, basically just time management, and using every opportunity. Sometimes when I'm even commuting, I'm listening to a recording or like the class that maybe I attended the previous weekend or something. So like just time management and maximizing, the opportunity. If you're able to also multitask, that's another thing.
Amazing. Sandra, thank you so much, because of course I know that combining work with family and everything, time management is of the essence. Amazing. Okay, now the next question is, did you ever try to transition on your own? Did you ever try to learn this concept on your own? Did it work out? If yes, how did you do it? If it did not work out, please tell us. Can I ask Okwe this question, please? How was that journey? Did you ever try to learn it on your own? And how was that experience as opposed to now having a structured training?
Yeah, well, so because I was really passionate about the problem I wanted to solve, I didn't have any technical knowledge because I've been in healthcare all my life. And then I just decided, okay, let me see what's on the internet, right? Let me see what are the courses that I can take maybe on Udemy or Coursera, or just do research on the internet. And then it didn't take me few days to realize that I had no idea what I was doing, right? Absolutely no idea. It would be a big waste of time. Even if I took those courses or if I read whatever, I didn't understand anything, because it's a different world, it's a different language, and then it wasn't structured in any kind of way where what should I learn first, and then how should I scale my learning journey? So there was no structure. I was just like grouping in the dark, right? And that was what led me to Cloud Booster, because while I was, trudging the internet looking for information, I saw Tosin Adedoyin's post on Twitter about Cloud Booster, right? And I didn't even know if I should learn cloud or software development or data analytics. Like, what is my entry point into this old tech thing? It's huge and it's overwhelming, right? Mm-hmm. So when I saw Tosin Adedoyin's post on Twitter, I decided to check it out, joined the webinar, learned just like you guys on the call, heard about cloud engineering, piqued my interest, and decided to, commit. And here we are.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Okwe. And Okwe not only committed, he actually went through the program wholeheartedly. He was even the valedictorian of the class, someone with a healthcare background. And there were people that, maybe had some advantage, maybe they did engineering or whatnot, so maybe they had done coding before. It didn't count. It was about who was Serious. And kudos to you, Okwe. Just remembering.
He that is down needs fear no fall. Like, I know where I'm coming from, man. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So just moving on, and I know that, if there's any question that has been answered before that you guys want to also chip in, maybe when you're answering the next questions, please feel free to do so. But I'm just going to go through the next question. So someone is asking, how important is community and close guidance in transitioning into cloud? You may want to give us some practical examples. Do you really need a community? Can people just do it on their own? Kenny, please, what do you think about this? I think you already touched on it when you're talking. I can also talk about, combining it with other responsibilities as well, because of course, the new mom, you had to also transition into cloud. Please go on.
Yeah. Community is something you cannot play to. I mean, you just have to have that community, because for me, I was like, I'm interested, because I felt like I was just stagnant in my role as at that time. And I was just thinking of something refreshing, something different. And I didn't even know about DevOps then. And maybe it's always posted on our status, DevOps. Then what is this DevOps? So that's when I started to research and got into Cloud Booster, and just the amazing set of people that in Cloud Booster was very helpful. Like I said before, I was studying for my exam. At some point I was having almost panic attack, because I was like, am I sure I should be doing this? I don't even know how to go about it. And the Cloud Booster community was very helpful for me. And now, I'm still in my transition journey, because I went for an event last Saturday. So I'm in the US, like I said before. I went for an event that was like African immigrant professional, and I met like DevOps engineers there that are Nigerians. I got their number. We already, like, with one of them, I already have like a coffee chat scheduled for this coming Saturday. And talking about it, you get to network, I don't see how without community you can really get in that space, right? Because that's how you get to do your mock interviews. That's how you get to hear about nuggets about how to prepare for exams. Could it be AWS or Microsoft Azure? So, that community is actually very critical.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Community is very important. Okay, go on.
Can I say something? Yeah. So I totally agree with Kenny, right? Even if you're already in the industry, right, you still need community to grow. One is too small a number to achieve greatness, right? So you've got to always be in community to grow in any industry. You've got to know how to network. You've got to know how to learn from other people. You've got to know how to, really get into spaces where you can become, right? For my experience in Cloud Booster, I know that the breakout rooms were really very key, right? I had my colleagues, I had a facilitator, I could ask questions. No question was too stupid to ask, because maybe I don't know the difference between S3 bucket and something else, right? I had a study buddy that was assigned to me that was also very helpful, right? We had labs and we did it together, assignments. There was a study group that we created while I was writing my exams, which really helped, because like Kenny, I was scared. It was crazy. Like 6 months into my program, Benny shows up and says that I have to write this. I should write a certification exam. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm twiddling my thumbs here. I'm lost in conversations. It's crazy. You want me to write a certification? She encouraged me. So we had this study group where we did past questions together. We learned from each other. We did that week in, week out for a couple of weeks. And then when you hear that one member of that group had written the exam and passed, it really encouraged you, right? Like, okay, maybe I can do this. And then there are also checking calls where, aside from the learning days where you just learn, then there are other days where you just come with your questions. And AK was always very gracious to be around on that call and really help. So community is huge if you're going to be successful with this.
Amazing. Very well said. I mean, please give your comments in the chat box if we're answering your questions as well, and if you want to say anything. But honestly, I think Okwe has done justice, and Kenny as well, to that question. Now, Sandra, this question I'd like to direct it to you. Someone is asking, did you have any experience in tech? What advice do you have for someone coming from a non-technical background trying to upskill?
Okay, before doing the bootcamp, I did not have any technical experience. So I came from a business background. Both my bachelor's and my master's are both business based. But I didn't have any. And one thing that helped me to actually transition to tech was keeping an open mind. So that's one thing, because if you come in with the mindset of, I might not be able to, or I don't think I can, with that negative mindset, it's going to hinder a lot of progress for you. So coming in with an open mind to say, hey, this is just another new thing that, I'm exposing myself to. So I'll just give myself time and grace. I mean, it's okay when you start the first few weeks, you'll be like, oh my God, who sent me? It's okay. But where I would say you fail is if you don't pick up yourself and, continue consistency, even if you don't understand what you're saying, having that open mindset and being curious, because you cannot have an open mindset and not stay curious. Because if things are happening, if they are teaching you different things that you don't know, you have to ask questions. So you have to be able to speak up and be bold to kind of express your thoughts. And one thing with Cloud Booster, no question is stupid, no question is dumb. Like you are able to ask questions, like the facilitators are there in the breakout sessions, during the lab times, you have the opportunity to ask questions and everybody's happy to help. So I think that's just it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sandra, for that. I'll just take a few more very key questions that I can see repeating, and then we can call it an evening. Someone is asking, I know there's a lot of questions about cloud and DevOps. So let me just talk about some of the questions. Some people are asking about, how much is the cost? What's the bootcamp about? I'll take 30 seconds at the end to talk about that. I know people are asking, did you transition on your own? Why did you not work out? We've taken that already. How important is community? We've taken that. Someone is asking, is there a way to upskill yourself free using a free bootcamp or online lessons without paying for courses and being sold training certifications? See, let me tell you, and I'm going to answer that question. The answer is yes, you can actually do it. But it boils down to you and your level of seriousness and readiness. You can do it, but will you do it? Have you done it? All the free resources online have been lying there for many years. Have you actually taken out the time that, okay, over the next 6 months, I am going to upskill myself and go on that journey? The resources are online. We don't hide it. You can go on YouTube. You will see 0 to DevOps in one day. You will see it there. You will see 7 hours, master DevOps. You will see all sorts of things. But the question is, will you do it? Will you be motivated enough to go on that journey by yourself? The next question is, when you get stuck, who's going to help you? Something that I just learning from the beginning. Imagine when we went to primary school, secondary school, and learning all these subjects from the beginning, social studies, learning civil, learning all of these things. Nobody to ask questions, nobody to interact with you by yourself. It is possible, but it is difficult. If you want to do it, that's an option. Just be aware of the challenges that come with it, which is why we recommend a bootcamp. I hope I've answered that question. So let me just move on quickly to another question. Someone is saying, we've talked about benefits of cloud engineering already. If there is cloud certification that you would take for upskilling, what would it be? That one is your AWS Cloud Solutions Architect certification. I'm just looking at a question that we can ask. Good. Okay, please, any of the panelists, if you can answer this question for us. Someone is saying that for those that don't understand Linux and Python, will you teach us these things very well? And that also leads to people that are saying that, oh, I have a background in healthcare. I have a background in, different things. Are you going to teach us these things very well? Who wants to take this question, please? just to touch on maybe the teaching style that you experienced?
Yeah, I can. Well, I have a bit of background in tech, but I did not know about Linux before joining CloudBooster. I had no clue about Linux. I had a bit about Python, but in CloudBooster, again, like Mimi said, it's from 0 to 100 really. They go through like the basics with you. Ebo, I don't know where Ebo is. Ebo can really talk about this as well, right? In CloudBooster, they teach you the very basic, the nitty-gritty that you can now build on. In my company now, right, I just got promoted, which is like yay. So one of the things that we actually do to make my life easier, right, I'd learned Linux in Cloud Booster, and I use Linux like effortlessly. I didn't know I could use it in my current job to make things easier for me. I'm like, look at this. Extra money for Cloud Booster, extra, money for Cloud. So it has really helped me. So you don't need to have a prior knowledge. When you come, right, they take it for you. I mean, they teach you rather from the very basics. So
amazing. So someone is asking a question about any question about the 18 weeks bootcamp. Please I'll take it as the last question. So just give me a moment about that. Thank you so much, Kenny. Now, people are saying that, cloud, what's the difference between cloud, DevOps? Somebody is talking about cybersecurity as well. So I've explained the concept of cloud computing and DevOps while I was speaking, right? You can actually be a DevOps professional alone. You can be a cloud DevOps professional. You can be a cloud professional. So cloud is on its own, DevOps is on its own, cloud DevOps is a field. But where we see a lot of demand, people looking for people that have the skills is in that combination of cloud computing and DevOps. Sandra is a solutions architect. Our work is very cloud focused, right? So we have different skills like that. So, some people are just DevOps. They don't even know what cloud computing is all about. So please just watch the recording of this masterclass again. So I don't start going over the concepts, but these things are distinct. But we really encourage people to learn both, learn cloud, learn DevOps, and then put yourself in a position where you can be a cloud DevOps professional, because there's a lot of demand for DevOps engineers who have an understanding of cloud engineers who understand DevOps concepts. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Someone is asking, I already talked about the advantage. People are asking about transferable skills. We talked about it already. If you're from a non-tech background, someone is saying that data analytics, I already touched on that. You can refer back to the recording of this, training. Now, another question that I have is, will you be sharing the masterclass recording? Yes, we will be doing that. So back to the panelist question. Somebody else is asking, please bear with me. Okay, for the DevOps Bootcamp, would the class sessions or exercises be like GUIs, like AWS Management Console, or will mainly work with terminals and scripts? So I think, who wants to answer that question? Maybe Okpe, can you just give people an insight into what, your experience learning cloud computing in terms of, console, terminal, and all of those things, please?
So you'd learn everything you need. You'd script, you'd work with the terminal, you work on the AWS console, you'd deploy, programs, there is no aspect of the cloud computing, cloud DevOps, hands-on practical skill that you need that you won't cover, right? Even the pipeline, you will build CI/CD pipelines, you work with Jenkins, you will do containerization, you use actual tools that are used in the industry to practice and to learn. And not only that, the people that are teaching you are not people that maybe they just sat down, read the material and wrote a certification and they are now coming to teach you. No, these are people that are in the industry, and not only are they in the industry, they've been in the industry for years. We had Charles, we had, I think there is another lady that taught us database systems. I don't quite remember her name now. These people they've not only been in the industry for a long time, they work with some of the big companies that you see around, right? So what you are getting is industry experience, technical skills, and hands-on training, right? So you get everything. You get everything you need to start day one on your job.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Okpe. So I have another question. Someone is asking, I'm torn between cybersecurity and DevOps. My primary reason for transitioning is job security and salary increase. What do you recommend? So I would say that you can combine both. You know, cybersecurity is a field that you can layer on many different technologies. You can learn data and learn cybersecurity. You can, because security cuts across many things. So think about it in the sense of you can combine. While I was going through your cloud roadmap, I mentioned security as well. So security is a very essential part that you can add on anything. It's also in a very big demand if you want to learn it alone, but you can combine it. You can learn cloud DevOps and cybersecurity. And then some people that have a cybersecurity background that are struggling to get roles, we tell them, come and learn cloud computing. Since you already know security, you can layer that on top of your cloud and DevOps knowledge, you know. So I hope that helps you as well. So let's also see other questions that our panelists can take. Okay. So, sorry, bear with me, please. Many questions here. I'm just trying to pick because we have to wrap up very soon. Let me just take a final question. We've taken community, we've taken transition. Okay, have we taken this question? How did you solve the biggest challenges you faced? What practical steps did you take? Okay, I think we've already talked about the challenges that you faced, you know. So what challenges, does anybody also want to talk about, any of the panelists want to highlight any other challenge that people would face on this journey and how to overcome it? Because I mean, people are still in the headspace of whether it's mindset challenge, whether it's you know, limiting beliefs, whatever it is, you know, what challenge did you face on this journey and how did you overcome it? Anyone? Sandra, maybe? Because I remember Sandra's journey very well. You can tell us a bit about your story as well so that they can be encouraged that they can do it.
Yeah, like I said before, I didn't have any technical knowledge. And before I used to think that anything that has to do with tech is for like special people, that you have to know maths, you have to, and me, I didn't know maths, I didn't like maths. So that was like something that kind of held me back for a long time, but I decided to kind of step out of that. I was scared, but I did it scared, and I'm happy that I did it. And coming into the boot camp and learning new tools I've never heard of or used before. Sometimes in the class when maybe the instructor is kind of teaching this new tool and all of that, even though they share the kind of the lab or like the workbook where you have all the things that the instructor is talking about. Sometimes I don't even understand what it is. I don't understand. And it's okay if you don't understand for the first time. And that is something that I actually struggled with for the first couple of weeks. But I realized that I paid for this service and I have to get the value. That is something I keep telling myself. So if you're in class, you're trying to learn something new and you're not able to quickly grab whatever you are being taught, because everybody have different level of understanding. Some people, when you say something now, they can easily pick it up and understand what you're saying. But people like me that have no technical background or anything, I kind of struggled. But what I did was to ask questions. So aside, trying to, interact more with the facilitators, even outside of class, I try to also interact with the other students, because you find out that even if you maybe like you think everybody is on the same level with you, but I don't think that's the case, because some people, they will come in, they already have some level of experience, and you can leverage that. Like your instructor or your facilitator may not know everything, and it's okay not to know everything, because everybody cannot know everything, right? So talking to other students, learning from them, developing relationships to actually help. Because if you're trying to talk to somebody that maybe you have not even spoken to before, like if you're trying to ask for help, I don't know, for me, I feel like it's weird. So I try to keep in touch with other students and also the facilitators, try to create a good atmosphere and professional relationship so that when I can easily approach them, and when I approach them, I don't feel bad. That's me personally. Yeah, so ask a lot of questions. That's something I didn't used to do before, but it didn't pay off. So I asked a lot of questions. And as I started asking a lot of questions, everything started becoming clear, everything started to come together. And also, you have to study outside of the curriculum or outside of what is being taught in class. What I mean by that is when maybe you have your Saturday classes and all of that, you have to create time, even if it's 1 hour a day or 30 minutes, to actually go through what has been taught. That is why it's important to always try to do the labs and assignments on your own. And when you are stuck, ask for help. There's always somebody that will help you. So I think that is everything that helped me.
Thank you so much. Can we give our panelists a round of applause? Thank you so much. I know our time is past spent. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Please feel free to connect with all of them online on LinkedIn. Just check their names, as it is written on the screen. Connect with them on LinkedIn. You can reach out to them. Hopefully it's okay by you guys if they reach out to you, right? So ask for the question. So thank you for confirming. Omolara is on the call as well. You can check Cloud Booster online. Check what our alumni are doing. Reach out to them in their DM. All these webinars that we're doing, are they giving us the true story? You can interact with people one-on-one, honestly, and they can share with you. I see a lot of people ask questions about the 18 weeks bootcamp, so I'll just talk about it very briefly. Let me just flash my screen to tell you what that is about. More information would actually be shared with you if you reach out to any of our course advisors. But today the focus is our 1 day bootcamp. If you're interested in a 1 day bootcamp, please sign up immediately. But if you're interested in the 18 weeks program, reach out to our course advisor. So for people that are asking, what is the 18 weeks bootcamp all about? Just talk about it very briefly. It's a 4-month intense training, where we come together every Saturday to teach you cloud computing skills, right? You learn to build strong technical skills, hands-on experience architecting on the cloud. You have access to fully guided technical labs. You learn all the technologies that in cloud DevOps. You learn AWS, you learn Linux, Python, Jenkins, Git, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible. I know it's a lot, but you will learn all of this on an 18 weeks over an 18 weeks period. You have engaging class lectures covering all the modules to get you started as a cloud DevOps engineer, soft skills coaching, CV review, LinkedIn profile upgrade, interview preparation. You get preparation materials for your AWS Solutions Architect exam, and also even your AWS exam voucher is now embedded in the package. If you're interested in that, please just reach out to any of our program advisors. They will tell you more about the 18 weeks bootcamp. If you would like to join the 1 day, which is actually a tester into the 18 weeks bootcamp, you're not sure you want to commit for the 18 weeks, but you just want to experience cloud for 1 day, sign up for our 1 day bootcamp, and we can't wait to see you on 15th of June. Once again, thank you, our panelists. Thank you, everyone, for attending. It's been such a nice time together. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll see you at the bootcamp. Bye, everyone, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.